what we're really trying to solve is to bring linear and digital together. And so if you're an MVPD or a local broadcast group or you're a network, you have two very big infrastructures. One called a broadcast management system stack for linear, and then you have a digital management system stack for digital or impressions. You can put advanced TV in that category. And those are big systems that span workflow from sales to invoice on both sides. And one of the interesting things we always found about Syntec is that they wanted to partner with Operative, my previous company, to integrate linear and digital between those two big systems, the monster systems, that are really hard to put in, but once you have them up and running, they're great. And where we think linear and digital come together is in a lightweight sales application that sits in front of those big systems, which is called Onboard. And Syntec created Onboard 3 years ago, and we found that as a very valuable tool where the Operative digital suite and the linear systems that are out there can come together in a sales front end called Onboard. And so now you can sell a linear and digital ad together, two currencies, or, like most people are talking about here, secondary audiences beyond age and gender.
So tell us who your customers are for the service.
So Syntec works around the world. We control $40 billion of TV spend across six continents. So we work with large Australian companies like 7 West Media. In India, we have Star Media. In Europe, we have Fox. In the US, we have NBC and Comcast and Charter. And so the biggest media companies in the world have gravitated to Syntec. And now that our solutions are working so well together, we're quickly going down market into the mid-market and saying, how can we help everyone scale as they try to sell in a converged way, sell audiences, and drive yields.
So tell us about the second audience.
Yeah, so secondary audiences beyond age and gender, psychographic, demographic, is what everyone's really talking about. And if I'm a network, I need to change a lot of the things that I'm doing. So if you look at NBC and ABC and Fox, they've all done a significant amount of restructuring to build out what people are calling a portfolio business. And a portfolio business is really important because I have some things that I'm going to sell using primetime GRPs, and I'm not going to really disrupt that. As much as I can avoid it, I don't want to disrupt that inventory. I want to continue to sell it the traditional way. But there's lots of pockets of inventory that have very valuable audiences. And so these networks have to take every screen now, every piece of supply, and in some cases layer on new supply, like a partnership with Apple, or like a partnership with Snapchat, where people are viewing their content in different places. And they have to pull all that together and decide, what am I going to sell using a GRP? What am I going to sell using an impression like I used to in digital? And then what am I going to sell as an audience, a secondary audience, that runs across them all? And that is a very tough order that requires a new way of thinking about workflow. It's almost like audience selling in TV is similar to when digital media became important to TV. It's a whole new way of doing things and thinking about your inventory and how you're going to sell it.
Cool, and what's next for you guys?
Well, what's next for us is really helping TV companies figure out how to organize their inventory and sell using first-party data or matching. So for example, we have 3 key concepts we're really bullish about now that Syntec and Operative are one. The first thing is a universal product catalog. So I have linear inventory and digital inventory. Now I need to sell audiences. And so all that needs to go in a single place where I can rate card it. Because I might sell a spot as an audience segment, and to the advertiser it's an audience segment, but to my old linear traffic system, it's still a spot. So that translation layer needs to be put in place that allows you to decide how you want to sell your inventory. Then you have the automation on the front end. I have buyers that want to buy programmatically, buyers that want to talk to a salesperson, buyers that want to buy self-service. And all those have to point to the same product catalog, and they don't have to be 3 separate systems. So that's 2. And then 3 is optimization. Audience optimization, price optimization, inventory optimization. I kind of call that box, tell me something I don't know already. Do I have pricing pressures? Should the price go up? Should I sell a spot as an audiences? And there's some great companies that do that. Videology, Freewheel, Clipped. and even Syntec is looking at some of those, but we look at ourselves more of the infrastructure or the workflow and plumbing, and have set up an environment called the Onboard Framework that allows you to talk openly to agency systems, optimizers, legacy traffic systems, whether they're Syntec's or somebody else's. Because we think there's a lot of great systems out there, but we think we're the best ecosystem out there that's open, that allows you to use what we do really well and bring your own technology to the party.